Hello and welcome to the third in this series of videos providing an introduction to implementing your own AI-based image processing with the all-in-one solution IDS NXT Ocean. Now in the previous videos we have built our image dataset and we have applied labels and annotations with NXT Lighthouse. This video will focus on the training process and for building the neural networks to run on the camera. We begin again as we did in the previous video by logging into NXT Lighthouse in our browser. And we need to start a new project by clicking the Add button, and the first step is to choose the project type, and we can choose between classification and detection. First we will create a classification project, so we click the classification button. This opens our new project window and has a similar look to the first section when we created a new dataset. We can give the project a name, a meaningful description and thumbnail image to make it easily identifiable. We also have the option to send notification emails when each training process is complete by entering email addresses at the bottom of the page. We can now select the dataset that we want to use. And this also provides a summary of the dataset displaying the number of annotations or labels and the number of images along with the thumbnail image chosen for the dataset. We can also expand the details of the dataset and see the breakdown per class. The utilization drop-down box allows us to select what proportion of images will be used for training and for validation. The default is a 70-30 split, and this is what we will choose here, but it's also possible to choose other options to see how neural networks with different ratios perform. For the options 100% training, 100% validation and 100% testing, a different dataset must be selected for each, and is useful for cases where the datasets should be kept separated. As we have a test dataset available, we will select this now to see how well our trained neural network performs on these images. The results can be found in the overview of the training sessions once complete, and we will look at the training section now. The first part of the training section provides the opportunity for some data augmentation through a number of transformations like rotation, zoom, shifts, distortion or shearing, and color channel shifting. And this is done to enlarge the data set and will help improve the generalization of the neural network. The slider controls the extent of the transformations, and in the documentation you can find further information about these transformations. The image flipping is simple enough to understand, but is only relevant for applications where the object does not have a logical orientation. For example, if there is text on the object, it does not make sense to mirror the images, as this changes the appearance of this case to something we know the camera will never see. In our example case, however, we will benefit from applying all of the transformations. The second section is related to the neural network requirements. First, we must choose the IDS NXT OS version. In most cases, it is recommended to use the latest version. However, for compatibility with existing deployed systems, the appropriate version can be selected from the drop-down list. Then we choose our inference time. Here we can choose between 13 milliseconds to 75 milliseconds, and the appropriate selection will be based on the necessary decision time for the system, balanced against the accuracy requirements. It can be a good idea to create multiple neural networks with different inference times to compare the performance later. And once we have selected these parameters, we simply click on Train Neural Network to begin the training process. In this case, we will train two networks, one with 13 milliseconds inference time and another with 75 milliseconds, so we can compare the extremes and the learning performance later. During the training, NXT Lighthouse provides a graph illustrating the achieved accuracy for the training sequences of the neural network. The time to train varies greatly on the number of images used for training and the inference time selected, which is why it's a good idea to enable the notification process shown earlier so you can receive an email once the training is complete. Whilst the neural network for classification is training, we can look at the process for object detection. In reality, it's not too different. We follow the same process, but at the start of the project creation, we select detection as the project type. Then enter the project name and description, add a thumbnail and the email addresses for the notifications. Under data, again, the irrelevant data sets are filtered out, so we can select the correct data set. And again, with the information and statistics and the same options for utilization. And we will stick with the 70-30 split of data for training and for validation. We have the same high-level data augmentation options, although with the exception of the image flipping, these transformations are different for object detection, but the slider principle is the same. In this case, we are controlling rotation, zoom, and some more properties related to the color information like contrast, brightness, and saturation. Again, you can refer to the documentation for further information, and in this case, we will enable all transformations with the maximum degree of variation. With object detection, we do not have the option to choose the inference time. This is fixed at 132 milliseconds because of the neural network architecture used. So now we click the Train Neural Network button to begin the training process. If we now switch back to our classification project, we can see that the training is complete and the training history graph shows that our achieved accuracy is 97%. And this was the neural network with an inference time of 13 milliseconds, so pretty good and the fastest option. And if we look at the second neural network we created with an inference time of 75 milliseconds, we can see that the training accuracy achieved here was 100%. And we can also look at the results of our test data set against this. For the 75 millisecond neural network, the accuracy was 100%, and for our 13 millisecond inference neural network, it was close to 99%. So with the training complete, we can now click on the download button, enter a suitable name for the neural network, click download, and the chosen neural network will be downloaded for later use. It's the same process for the object detection neural network, but there's a difference on the training history illustration which we can look at. Rather than showing the achieved accuracy, we see two metrics for the success of the training. First is the mean average precision, which is a scoring system based on the precision and recall of the neural network. And secondly, the average intersection over union, which is a ratio value showing the amount of overlap between the actual trained object region and the predicted object region. In short, with both of these measurements, the higher the better, but our focus in most cases should be on the mean average precision and a score greater than 50%. There is further information about these values in the documentation. Now that we have trained and downloaded our neural networks, in the final video of the series, we will see how to upload these to our NXT camera and ultimately run them in our application. Thanks for watching.